That's my real first name. And
Okay.
actuality, I'm getting ready to change it to Quincy Vision Bunch. So
Oh,
Vision is truly gonna be my name.
okay. Okay. Good for you.
I'm blessed to actually be able to have a skill set that actually allow me to be able to make a transition. I won't say smooth, but it's so much better than just, going to a place and not knowing, what you're gonna, where you, how you're gonna make ends meet. So
Right.
what I always did in every state that I moved to or from, I would get my license transferred in the meantime, get a part-time job, whether it was a night job, and then that way I could work the shop during the daytime and
Mm-hmm.
build my clientele up like that. So, I had a plan, and since 2002, I've been able to duplicate the system and teach others how to get up on out your comfort zone, get up on out your own city and state, and see if you can make it on your own.
That's really interesting because number one, I used to want to do hair and I was talked out of it. Fast forward to 2020, I'm constantly doing hair. Two, the career field that I selected really does not transfer easily in the state of Ohio. I could tell you the Consumer Sales Practices Act up and down, but when I moved to Florida, it's like a whole different thing. There's statute of limit. I mean, I'm sorry, not their statute. Yeah, probably even their statutes of limitation, but things are different here. Like the laws are different here.
Mm-hmm.
And now the position that I'm in, I'm kind of locked into the retirement system here. So even if I want to move, I have to stay.
Right.
Like if I would have, been hired in the federal court, then I could go anywhere through the country because it's federal. So I'm kind of
Wow.
like locked into positions, and I'll be vested next month, so I can't just up and leave.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm listening to you like that's actually true and smart.
Licensed in Ohio, Florida, and Georgia for cosmetology and barbering.
Okay.
And I have a Class A CDL. I'm certified to drive multiple forklifts from stand up to sit down, reach trucks. I've definitely have operated multiple forklifts. So
Okay.
I have a pretty good background in warehousing, material handling, shipping and handling, hair care products, and things like that. I found myself once I got my license, I started branding myself more. And then when I
Okay.
started branding myself, I started doing T-shirts. Then T-shirts went to belt buckles. Yeah, I even had stamps with my logo on it, and they were actual stamps for real.
Okay.
Uh, then I went from that to books, and I was working on book number 5, but then the COVID, and by me being a conscious person, or conscious being, I should say, I rearranged my 5th book
Okay.
because I didn't want some of the parts to actually manifest
Okay.
themselves, because I found that what you think, what you write, and what you speak, it has the power to actually come true. But then from the books, it became products, and I went into one of the major beauty supply stores here in Atlanta. It's called Essence Beauty Supply Store. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually went into their particular location and found out that the owner was the co-owner was the brother that allowed me to be able to get into his particular their particular location. Then his sister reached out to me and saw that I was giving shots out to their particular location, and she told me she had five locations, but my product was only in one.
Oh
And then
wow.
she gave me an opportunity, but what I ended
Oh.
up, to be in all 5. But what I ended up doing is I shut it down because team. I didn't have a team, and trying to balance shop, kids, and things like that. It wasn't impossible. It's just that, you know what, it's successful. So let me shut it down, and then I can always, get back into it because it's mine.
Right.
Once you research the information, it becomes either embedded into you physically, mentally, or spiritually.
Okay.
one or the other. I've pretty much done every physical job that has made me who I am. To be able to stand up on my feet for long hours in the hair salon. A lot of those before when we was in high school and coming out of high school, a lot of those fast food jobs. I even tell my kids, you're gonna work a fast food job. They like, why? I said, because I need you to learn how to multitask and to be able to move fast. And to me it's gonna build that character up later on down the line.
Fast food was hard.
Right.
Hard. I remember
Right.
sliding around on grease,
Yep.
hot, demanding customers. That was
Yep.
probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. And
Mm-hmm.
so to appreciate what's coming or what you have later, you have
Right.
to go through those types of positions.
But
So
everybody has have their path. By me knowing what my mom instilled into me, I'm gonna tell you, my mom gave me a 2-week recipe, and every time I tell her this, she laughs. When I had first started the post office, that right there to me was the hardest job that I ever had, because
oh
I was doing
wow.
like literally sacks of mail, and phone books back then were all in burly lap type of sacks, and we literally had to dump those onto conveyor belts for 8 to 10 hours a day. So I told my mom, like, I'm about to quit. She's like, nope. She's like, give it 2 weeks, and from this day forth, I always do that. I give everything a 2 week, basically a test run, and
Right.
within those 2 weeks, I mean, you're gonna either love it or you're not.
Right.
And if you don't, at least you still know that you gave it that 2 weeks. And there's nothing that I can't accomplish. Once you didn't went
Good.
give 110% for 2 weeks straight, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be like, okay, I got this, and then you're gonna either, like I say, keep it going, or you're gonna move on to something new. I like multiple streams of income,
Right.
because if you got the one job that can handle your bills and the things like that, now you need something that can get that overage. Now you
Right.
need that investment money for yourself and your
Right.
business and,
Right.
and, and things like that. So I tell people, by any means necessary. So everything I do to
You work.
invest is my fruits and my labors. Whether I
Right.
got to get a second or third job, I have a goal, and I'm like, it's not forever. So if I'm beating myself up for a few months, at least I know at the end of those months, the overall goal is what? The finance or to invest into your goal or your dream. Because
Right.
everybody's startup cost is going to be totally different. I've always had the knack and gift for selling and creating. So when I found out how to put those skills together, that's when I found out that I was a entrepreneur. Because cutting hair and doing that, I've always had the knack for helping and service. So
Okay.
I was told that if you can find something that you truly love and get paid to do it, that's what you need to be
Right.
doing.
Right.
Now, I tell people it's not the end all, because whatever it is your gift is and you can make money from it, so by all means, do that. But don't let that be the end. I had to do my LLC because of an invention that I actually created.
Okay.
And the invention came from the material handling industry. Well, I created it for an attachment for the Raymond cherry picker. The forks are on the back, and I created this product when I was working in Solon
Okay.
at Superior Beverage. I found myself always coming up with things, but never knowing how to like paper-wise it. One of my co-workers in the barbershop, he just paid somebody $12,000 to do what I did during the pandemic. So I did all of this for less than, I'm gonna say less than $500. I say this to say people will actually pay people instead of actually doing the work. I'm not the most 100% focused type of person, but I am the type of person that I write things down and then I check them off and then I come back to it. So that way I'm not skipping. I mean, you can skip
Right.
around if you need to. There's
Right.
no set way to do anything. It's just the end all. What is the end all? Do what you can for yourself. And if it's really out your element, then you got to find someone. You know, if there's anybody that's listening, you know, that's in the hair industry, we have tons and tons of customers. If you've been in one particular shop for more than 6 months and you don't even know the professions of your customers, you're not even doing yourself a service. You got these customers who
Right.
you should be, you know, shopping with or supporting. They're
Right.
coming in and they're supporting you. Me wanting to be an entrepreneur was just me being who I am on an everyday basis. You know, I got great ideas. I give good services. You know, no matter
Okay.
what it is, and I give 110%. Anybody who comes up under me, you're gonna know what I know as an
Right.
owner. So
Right.
that way, you know, people are afraid of competition. But I look at it like I like making money. So if I'm giving somebody information or sharing with them on the same idea, same product, same service, if they blow up bigger than me, then guess what? I still got my investment over here. Why wouldn't I invest in them?
Okay.
So I didn't ask her to give me the plug. I just said, hey, you know, how did you get to, you know, right here in your situation? Because I know how to, you know, get around, but I'm like, okay, is there another door that I may need to go through, or do I need to stay in the lane that I'm in and then, you know, network with the people that I already know? She didn't even respond back, and this was, you know, through Messenger. So I never
Wow.
even, I just said, hey, you know, I love your work, because I did. You know, I said I like your work and everything, and I said I've done this and I've done this kind of work, and you know, is there anything that I need to know? So you know, when I started doing security, I was doing security with one of my folks. And I started talking to people, and I found out what I needed to find out.
Good.
And it was easy, super simple, went straight to the internet. And I'm looking at this situation like, come on, it wasn't that serious. You do a lot more ladies' hair. We're not even doing the same hair.
Right.
So
Right.
we're not the same. Even though I'm black, it doesn't matter what color you are, you need to represent your family as a legacy. My daughter should be able to, I should be able to go to the grocery store and point out, you know, that's such and such. He's a black or she's a black, you know, baker, and they got cookies right here, or, you know, ice cream section, you know, anywhere, or even clothing. I should be able to, anywhere we go, I should be able to tell my daughter or my son, hey, that's made by, you know, a black man, because we got things in history. I even have a poster that highlights black inventors and things
Mhm.
like that. So we are there, and I'm more so, let's create inventions opposed to just a business, you know, because if you can create something that will help humanity or help the planet, that's what I'm all about. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's real crucial time period for us to start filling in the gaps. All of us as entrepreneurs, I got my plate full, but I be having guys come to me all the time and say, hey, you know, I want to invest, I want to do this, I want to do that. Then when I start hitting them with new and fresh ideas, they kind of shun away, because they don't, it's not a get rich quick. I say it's a business. You have to believe in the product in order for you to actually, for it to be successful. You know, the guy that created the pet rock, you know,
Mhm.
he made millions and millions of dollars. The silly bands, he made millions and millions of dollars. We overthink things, or we go into a business that has a high overhead, and then we
Mm.
wonder, and then we don't have the kind of connections that others have in
Right.
foreign countries. If you got 10 barbershops on one street, okay, so that's like maybe 40, 60 barbers total. Okay, so where are the hair schools? These owners should be coming together and say, hey, let's create some hair schools, so that way we can create more business minded people, and then we can start competing with the L'Oreals for the products, the the great clips. And the crazy thing is, we actually cut better than a lot of those hair cutters and stylists at those locations, but they got the business locked down. But see, they got the model, they got the system. You know, we just need to come together instead of us, individually opening up some things, we need to find out who has this system already going. Can we come together business term wise? Because the person that you may be wanting to try to compete with may just need a little bit of financial help, and then together as a team, they can branch out. But we just don't get along. The independence and me finding out that I am management material. I have been in management positions and situations, wanting to be my own and to help others get to their particular level.
Okay.
The freedom,
Right.
the thought of financial freedom, or not even just financial freedom, just the freedom to be able to come and go as you please. You still gotta answer, because your clients are the ones. Even when you become an entrepreneur, people think, oh, I ain't gotta answer. Yeah, you have to answer to your clients.
Right.
Yeah, you have to answer to your clients, because they're the ones who's gonna be tugging at you each hour,
Right.
or the time frames when your particular location is open. But yeah,
Right.
my inspiration is definitely to wanna have something for myself and be able to leave a legacy for my kids. The best workers always get overworked, and then when you call off, or you need a break, they looking at you sideways. And this is the reason why I want to definitely become a successful entrepreneur, so that way we can change the system on how corporations and companies treat their employees. Yes, black men and women. One of my old barbers that I used to work with, he's on his like fifth or sixth shop,
Okay.
and he knows about my product creation, and
Okay.
his makeup artist has some questions. So I've inspired him. Even we not even in this same barbershop, and then I always try to get young men that's getting ready to get out of college. I mean, get out of high school. I don't step on their parents' toes. You know what I'm saying, for whatever kind of home training that they got. But I just give them words of encouragement, and
Good.
then they'll come back. I've actually had a guy that was sitting down. He was a walk-in, and he sat down, and I said, how's it going today? He said, man, you just don't know how bad my day was until I spoke to him in a pleasant way. And just from us talking, he comes, he calls. It's like I'm a mentor. I tell him, man, here's my cell phone. If you need anything, just contact me. And
Um,
they don't hesitate to ask questions. I had a young
okay.
man that was talking about working in a factory. So I always tell the young men, because they don't know. They think that they come on as a shipping and handling guy, or unloading the trucks. They think they got to stay there. I said, no. If you have even if you don't have a driver's license, they'll certify you anyway. So I tell them the good way to move up, and if you not comfortable with the pay where you are, I said, speak to someone, get certified in the forklift, and I said, I guarantee you'll be at the company a lot longer, because your job ends up a little bit less physical than it is, because you're just driving around all day long. You got the heavy load is on your forks. Dock pay is and the unloading of the truck pay is way less than somebody that's certified on the forklift. I definitely believe that I'm inspiring as many people as I can, even if they don't speak it or say it. I know that I'm leading by an example, because
Good.
my heart is pure, my heart is true, and I'm not trying to harm nobody. My goal is to uplift the next generation coming forth, and the generations 50 years from now. That's my purpose. The time that I can just put aside for my kids.
Okay.
So it's
Aw.
like I can roll the dice right now, and I can pick a day and be off, and then that's the day that I'm gonna dedicate with them. They getting ready to start school back Monday, but
Okay.
I told my son that I said, I'm gonna take me a day off throughout the week, and work with him on his baseball, because he just did 2 baseball tryouts the last couple of weeks. So just that to me is the most rewarding is to be, and then to be able to see somebody either with one of the products that I made, one of the books that I created, or one of the other rewarding things is to have somebody that was in your class. You know, I taught a class at the Brown Brothers Hair Show.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I taught a class there, and I was working in a barber shop, and a lady came in 6 years, keep in mind, 6 years later in the barbershop, and she said, I know you. I didn't, I'm just cutting. I'm like, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm just thinking, I'm just naming off stuff. So she said, a hair show. I said, yeah. She said, did you do a class? I said, yeah. She said, you got a book? I said, yeah, I got several books. She said, I got your book. Now that was awesome feeling right there, to have somebody that you haven't seen in like 6 years. She called me, and then I gave her the information to create her. She's going on her second beauty supply store, and she does mobile barber supplies delivery to different salons and stuff. So she said, with my book and me talking to her on the phone and giving her free information, she said she's on her second shop. There's a lot of programs out there too for small business owners, new business owners. See, I have to apply for my new, because even though I had the LLC, I had the EIN number since 2007, but I didn't really do too much with it. And I have a barber EIN number also, but that's a sole proprietorship. The most important thing I will say is believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe in you. Nobody's going to believe in your product. And then even when you believe in yourself, don't look for validation from no one. Make sure that your product or your service is A1, 100% legitimate, honest. You have to reserve time for your dreams and goals, and to write everything down. You know, if you know something that you want to do, it can be 100 things. Write all 100 down. It doesn't matter. Just write everything down step by step by step.
Now, why do you suggest that again? So you don't forget anything, or is it also to bring things to fruition?
All of that.
Okay.
All of that. Because if you write it down, you can always come back to it. Because see, I have brain overload. So I have.
Me too.
See,
I can tell though. I can see yours.
I'm trying to tell you, but you know what though? It's gonna all work out, because I'm gonna tell you something. Nikola Tesla, he was like that. He had notebooks after notebooks after notebooks, and people always they never let someone put a time limit on your success. That'll throw you off also. You know, but you can put a time limit on yourself. Like you could say, hey, I want to have this done by in 2 weeks, but guess what? Do it in a week. Now you got a whole nother week to get something else added or done.
Thank you very much, Quincy, for joining us. I appreciate your time, and I just really enjoyed speaking with you.
All right. Thank you.